But California's drought has become an even bigger inconvenience to the skeptics' narrative. Now in its fourth year, it's been exacerbated by unusually high temperatures. Scientific studies link that to climate change, one calling it the worst drought in more than a century. We're heading to the town that's become known as the drought's ground zero. Well, this is what used to be the lifeblood of Porterville, the Toole River, except it's gone. What's worse than that is that the groundwater has sunk so low that the wells people dug outside the city to get water have run completely dry. So for literally thousands of people here, there's no water to wash in, no water to drink.
This is considered non-potable.
Donna Johnson is 72 and volunteers to deliver water to homes outside the city.
Just in this clustered area, maybe 25 to 3,000 people out of water.
She began her rounds 2 years ago when wells started running dry.
We ran out of water, and then I went to the local filling station that we go to, and I found out that he said other people were out of water, and I thought this didn't sound right.
She literally goes door to door, bringing large tubs of water for washing and small bottles for drinking. Much of it comes from the county authorities, but she also relies on big retailers to donate water.
These people are from Australia, and this is Juana Garcia, and
Hello.
she's been without water since February last year.
Que es la única que me ha ayudado en todo este tiempo. Aquí con el vecino, pues él ya no me dio porque dijo que se le iba a acabar a él. Y este vecino, con él casi nunca hablamos. No, como que no le gusta así la raza hispana.
Yeah, I lived in the tornado area, and this is just as devastating in a different way, in a silent way, in a slow way. And it's hard for some people to understand unless they know what these people are going through. And I say these people, we've been going through it too. And I go through it every day in my heart when I see Juana having to do this with her kids, and her kids having to grow up this way.
The drought has increased inequality. Mainly white residents in Porterville still enjoy piped water. But next door in East Porterville, mainly Hispanic residents have always had to rely on wells. The wells are now so dry people are forced to use community showers. With water this scarce for washing, it's even scarcer for farming. Jesus Ramos used to live the American dream. A Mexican migrant who started as a fruit picker and worked hard enough to buy 6 small ranches. But over the past 3 years, the price of irrigation water has increased 6-fold.
They're my jewels. I love them. The drought is bringing on an enormous uncertainty, and it's something that we were not even thinking about 3 years ago. Never crossed my mind that we would have this situation. What could ultimately do to people like me, the farmers, and especially the workers, I don't even want to think about that.
He's now paying more to water his crops than he can get from selling them. He's had to clear the less productive fields and farms the others at a loss. What's going to happen if it goes on for longer than 4 years? If it's 5 years, 6 years?
I think ultimately the whole valley, all these little communities will be pretty emptied out. People will move on. You have to make a living. Chase the water, people say. Go to the northern states, Oregon, Washington.
So actually move to chase the water. Move states to chase water.
Yes, chase the water. I don't want to do that. I don't want to move. I don't want to go anywhere.
But just 4 hours drive from Porterville, the pessimism turns to optimism. It's California's famous Bay Area, where the neighbouring cities of San Francisco, Berkeley and Oakland revel in disrupting the establishment. The buzz here isn't about problems, but solutions. Californian entrepreneurs have long prided themselves on connecting innovative ideas with cold hard cash to really shake up the market. There was Silicon Valley and then the dot-com boom of the 90s, and today the challenge of climate change is fueling a whole new boom in renewable energy. Thank you. Danny Kennedy is one of the new pioneers, though in his case he's gone east for Australia.
The office is just over here. Okay. Go there now.
He was a Greenpeace activist who decided to go into the sunshine business.
Wow, glorious sunshine. Yeah, it's a beautiful day, and Oakland is like this 9 months of the year.
In 2008, he and two partners set up a small solar energy company. Now it has 1,000 employees.
Welcome to Sungevity. So,
Wow.
and now we're the sort of largest privately held solar service business in the US, and we're also in Europe, in the Netherlands, Germany, and the UK.
Long way from home.
The innovation was largely software. It was an idea we created in Australia but needed to build out with software engineers. And they do that well in the San Francisco Bay Area, as you know.
Their software enables them to design solar installations remotely from satellite images, working out how best to position panels for the sun. Software breakthroughs are helping make solar one of California's fastest growing industries.
The solar industry has employed 55,000 Californians. That's more than Twitter, Google, Facebook, and Apple combined. As a national employer, the solar industry is huge. It's bigger than the coal mining industry now across the US. California's leading the charge on this stuff, and it's doing well for the economy. Now we're at 25% of electricity in the state from renewable sources. The governor is going to lift the target from 33% currently to 50%.
Danny's also set up a company to mentor young solar entrepreneurs.
So here is the Sun Cube.
Hello.
This is Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Nice to meet you, Eric.
I started the Sun Cube with Emily, and she's the CEO.
So when Danny and I started SpunCube about 2.5 years ago, we had just 2 companies, a couple months runway. We were really making it up as we went. But today we have 20 solar startups, 200 entrepreneurs.
So it's a booming industry?
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be $1 trillion industry in the years to come that people can power their lives with sunshine.
This is the kind of space we have. We have 3 floors.
The holy grail is improving storage, so people can still have power when the sun doesn't shine and the wind doesn't blow.
We'll need battery storage, we'll need complementary technologies, and that's what all these other startups are starting to create.
The other challenge is bringing power to people who have none.
Welcome to Power Hive. This is actually the office building that Sungevity started in, really.
Okay.
And this company is one of the companies that came out of our incubator, SpunCube. But it's a really exciting business going into Kenya and providing electricity in these emerging markets like Africa. So here's the team.
So this is what a startup looks like.
Danny.
It's come up with an ingenious way to bring more solar to Africa.
We do electricity for villages that don't have electricity.
From here.
From here.
Power Hive does in remote villages what utilities do in cities. It sets up a power grid that families can tap into and choose how much energy they use. The software allows people who don't have bank accounts to pay for power by phone.
Even people with no electricity in their village have a cell phone. They use mobile money as a payment mechanism. So they have an account with a mobile money provider and they can send money to anybody. So they send money to us for electricity and we will provide a certain amount of electricity based on how much money they send us.
They've done a handful of villages. It's been wildly successful. And now the government of Kenya has actually granted them the right to become the sort of electricity utility in this county that they're operating in, which means thousands and thousands of families will be getting electricity. Because at the end of the day, the electricity in the 21st century, it's not going to be done with coal. It's not going to be done with nukes. Steve is actually out of the nuclear industry. And here he is now engineering this software-hardware bundle to deliver electricity through solar power to people in Kenya.
Rooftop solar is just part of the mix.
Brian.
Good to meet you, sir.
Hello, Eric.
At dawn, we visit a solar farm on a former orchard outside San Francisco.
This is our solar plant.
Let's have a look. Thank you.
So we have about 73,000 panels.
They power 6,000 homes.
So California has phased out its coal-fired power plants. It's almost all natural gas now.
If old power utilities had their way, plants like this would have never seen the light of day.
We have a state mandate that says the utilities have to have a certain portion of their portfolio in renewables, and we're just taking advantage of that.
Now that California is moving to 50% renewable, utilities are investing in solar to share the benefit. The finance for this plant was raised by a hard-headed businessman and lifelong Republican, John Bond.
As you begin to get costs down, as you begin to get people sensitized to the concerns about climate change, and it becomes less and less a burden on the taxpayer, I say this as a Republican, it's one of those examples where a policy initiative by government actually was necessary to get the ball rolling. The potential is huge.
In fact, so huge, he believes the industry will soon be able to compete without government help.
I'm guessing 3 to 5 years. It'll come that soon. A lot of the cost competitiveness that has driven the cost down has come, for example, from production facilities in China. That's where all the panels come from.
So if you're advising a young man or woman what industry they should go into, would you suggest coal or renewables?
I wouldn't advise any friend of mine to go in the coal business. I have some people I might advise to go into the coal business, but
Today's young entrepreneurs are flocking to solar.
We need to get off the curse of fossil fuels, the legacy of the 20th century. We have to stop cooking the planet, protect our kids' futures. It's going to take the innovative spirit, the entrepreneurial can-do Californian know-how in this room and around the state and around the world to make that happen. So thank you for your efforts. Thank you for being here. Thank you for driving solar for universal need. Shine on.
Yes, that's it. Now, one thing you got to have, one thing you cannot do without if you're going to make kilowatt soul stew is a quarter pound of Oakland horns.
There is a genuine excitement here, and it's not just about money. Everyone dreams of becoming the next Steve Jobs and saving the planet. travelling the world talking to people who take the science of climate change seriously, it's very easy to get daunted by the enormity of the problem. Which is why coming here is so inspiring, because you also see how close the world is to a solution. And what's more important is that it's starting to make real commercial sense. And it's obvious that the kind of change the world needs really is possible.